Howdy, Philip. In this video, I'm gonna show you how to take this and turn it into this. Hey, what's up? My name is Matthew, and I am so passionate about helping you discover the person that you were born to be so that you can share the message that you were born to tell. And I love focusing on little things like this, like little details that can sometimes be frustrating and can be a roadblock. And I wanna help you break through those things so that you're not having to focus as much on the details and you can just focus on your message, because come on, I know you've got something in you that you wanna share. And I hope that this video helps you get through this little roadblock of maybe leveling up your video just a little bit. So I want to start with walking you through what this setup is and what all is different from this shot and the last shot. In this shot, I've got the main lights in this room completely off, so the room is completely black without any lighting. I have 3 different lights. I have what's called a key light. I'm using a ring light. And I have what I'm calling a fill light that's just kind of covering some shadow on my face, and I've got it set to a warmer temperature because I dig the vibe, and so why not? The third light is obviously this blue light behind me. It's just a simple blue LED, and it can actually be any color I want it to be. Another thing that's different about this setup is instead of using the iPhone mic, I'm actually using an external shotgun mic. I'm using the Rode NTG. It's just the one that plugs directly into the iPhone, because I am just using the iPhone camera, and this is just a selfie camera, so nothing fancy there. And in the first one, I've got this little portable AC unit that just kind of cools this room because there's no heating and air in here, in the room I'm in. So I had this little portable AC unit that was creating lots of background noise in the first clip as well, and I've turned that off for this one. So we've got a little bit better audio, and then we've got these 3 lights. Now what I want to do is turn all of these lights off so you can see what it looks like one by one, and so you can really see what each light is doing. So for starters, I'm going to turn off this little fill light so you can kind of see the shadow that it's covering on my face. So you can see that, and so that's what this looks like. And so there's this shadow on my face. Now this is completely passable. It's really just a stylistic preference. It's a personal preference. Some people dig the shadow, some people don't dig the shadow. It's really whatever your vibe is. It's whatever, sort of whatever your message dictates. So that's what the fill light is taken care of. And then now I'm gonna turn off my key light. Boop. And so now this is actually, whoa. This kind of looks funny. Ooh. I just look like a shadow. This is crazy. I actually haven't done this, so this is the first time I'm seeing this. And again, I'm using my iPhone selfie camera so I can actually see what's going on. And this looks hilarious. It's super, a very specific look, we'll call it that. All right, let me turn on this fill light so you can see if I only used, excuse me, if I only used the fill light, that's what this looks like, which isn't super great. But yeah, let me turn that off. And instead, turn on the key light, which again is a ring light. Nothing super fancy. And then turn on the fill. And I dig that look. So there you go. Let me turn off the color LED. Now the reason, let me go ahead and walk you through this, my thinking. The reason I chose to use a color LED behind me is because I don't have really anything else behind me other than this blank wall, which is super boring to look at. And so, you know, and just thinking about communicating a message, one of the things that's helpful to your audience is, you know, having things in the background that, so again, support your message, that sort of help people understand who you are and what you're into and all that kind of stuff. And right now I don't really have anything. And so I was just trying to think about how could I create some simple visual interest, and that's where, you know, sort of the color LED thing, which again, you know, this isn't like other people have done this, you know, so I'm not the only one who's ever done this, but anyway. So let me turn that back on. And whenever this particular light kicks on, it sort of, for whatever reason, the hue of the light sort of resets itself, and then you just have to click the button to make it kick back over to the blue. So again, the reason I chose to put a color LED behind me is because I don't have like any shelves or books or acoustic foam or anything behind me, plants or whatever. To me, that was super boring to have nothing. So I wanted to create some simple visual interest, put the color LED behind me. There you go. And in my opinion, for me, for the vibe that I'm going for, that kind of helps a little bit with that. In this next part of the video, I want to just kind of walk through a few things to be careful of as you are sort of setting up your space. Number one, so with your light here, like your key light, you have to be careful. Obviously you can see the ring light in the glasses. That's a big thing. So the reason why I chose to not wear glasses in this video was because I don't trust myself to keep my head still enough to not have the ring light in the glasses. Now it's very possible with the way I have it set up for it to look fine, but I kind of have to have my head very level and down. And I'm not super great at that. It might even be better if I lifted this up a little bit. But if I tilt my head up at all, then it's immediate ring light. And to me, that's just kind of a distraction. And so I just like, you know what? I don't need my glasses for this particular video anyway. I'll just take them off. And then that way I can move full 360, baby. I can just have full range of motion and not have to worry about it. And yeah, it's just peace of mind. So that's one thing to think about as you're setting up your space. Another thing to think about is, you want your background to be nice and clean. You just don't want to have a bunch of clutter, because really, one of the things in church that we always say is that the stage, how we handle the stage in regards to its cleanliness, is sort of a representation of how serious we take what we're doing. And so if we've got a messy stage, then that sort of is communicating to everybody that, this is just kind of another thing we're doing and it's not that big of a deal. But if everything is as pristine as possible in regards to cleanliness, that's just, I guess, maybe an indirect and maybe sort of a subtle cue to everybody else that's participating with us, that this is something we take seriously and this is important to us, and we want it to be important to you as well. And so for you, as you're thinking about where you're gonna do a video at, I just think that your background is really important. And I've got some videos up on the channel where and actually I'm looking at it right now, I'm in the same room. I've just got it set up differently. And so there's like boxes and stuff in here. But this is important to me, and I think that this information is important, this message is important, and I don't want to take it lightly, and I want to make sure that I'm communicating, that I'm taking this seriously to the people that I'm communicating with. So I think that's something important to consider as you're thinking about your background and all that stuff. You want it to look clean, you want it to look nice. The third thing to think about, so man, I'm kind of rambling here. I'm really good at that. So I'm just gonna pick this up. You see that right there? So what happens whenever you point the camera directly at a light, you're gonna get this weird refraction. Is that what that's called? I'm not even really sure. Same thing with the ring light. I've got it there, and you can see, yeah, there's barely on the screen, just a little deal. Something to think about as you're trying to figure out, man, what's my camera angle, where my light's gonna go, all of that stuff. You wanna take that into consideration. Don't point your camera directly at the light. Otherwise it causes this weird refraction or whatever it's called, which sometimes it could be a cool effect. It might be something that you want, but you just want to be intentional with that. So again, just to recap, the most important thing really whenever you're thinking about lighting and sort of leveling up everything is you want to cut out all the background noise that you can. So like turn off your air conditioner if you got to, if it's loud enough or whatever. If you can get away from it, do not use your iPhone mic. Not that it's bad, but there's just so many other better options. And whenever it comes to lighting, the most important thing is that the people that you're communicating to can see you well. So you gotta have a key light. That's the most important thing. Everything else is just kind of, it's nice to have, and it does level up the quality of your video. Is it absolutely necessary? No. The most important thing is your message. It's what you want to share, what you want to communicate. And so with all of these different things, how can you let lighting just be something that supports your message? And so maybe it's something that's moody and intimate. Anyway, so I digress. I just want you to remember this, that you were born with the message that somebody else was born to hear. And the reason why I say that is because in 1 Peter 4 says that God has given each of us a gift, and as He's given each of us a gift, we should use it for the good of others. We should use it to serve others. And so if you've got a message inside you, like something you're like, man, I really want to get this out, I need to share this. Well, I just want to encourage you, it's very possible that there's somebody in your circle right now, maybe you've got a friend or a family member that needs to hear that message. And so don't hold it back. Go ahead and share it. You've got gifts, you've got talents, you've got aptitudes towards certain things. Maybe you're great at lighting, boy, better than I could ever be. You're really great at audio, or maybe you have a gift of hospitality. You light a room up whenever you enter it. Whatever it is, you have a gift, and it's your responsibility and your opportunity to share it with the world. So come on, let's do it.